This meeting is being recorded.
Good evening and welcome to the Town of Southwick Select Board meeting for Monday, February 6, 2023. Those in attendance, myself, Russell S. Fox, Chairman, Vice Chairman Doug Moglen. Jason Perone is on Zoom and he will be here shortly. Chief Administrative Officer Carl Steinhardt is on Zoom. We also have Assistant Chief Administrative Officer Nadine Stignoni. That I've messed up her name for the 10th time, and I apologize. And welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome as a new member of our staff. And Administrative Assistant Robin Solak. If we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Moglen has asked for 30 seconds.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A big crowd here tonight. I just wanted to take a minute to have a thought for the unspeakable tragedy that happened in our town on Friday. That was a terrible set of circumstance, and I'd like for if everyone could just have a thought for that family and also for our first responders. This has been a bad couple of weeks here for the town and our first responders and for what they have to go through with that day in and day out. And with our appreciation, if everyone could just take a moment for that family and our first responders. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Mr. Moglen. Thank you for doing that. All right, the first thing on the agenda is public comments. We did have a little bit of a mix-up. We have a public hearing also scheduled for 6 p.m. So I'm going to accept public comments, but I'm asking everybody to please keep it brief. So we'll start in the room. That gentleman asked first, so I'm going to recognize him.
Excellent. Thank you. My name is James Jaron. I reside in 188 Berkshire Ave. And I know there's some talk about cannabis in our town. And I just wanted to offer my services and my opinion or anything that could be helpful to the select board. It's different when you hear numbers and rumors, but when you have somebody that's a resident that lives in the neighborhood that could just set everybody straight. I own Holyoke cannabis myself. We gave the city of Holyoke over $2 million in taxes this year, and I would like to give it to our town. So I think Fox has my number, and if I can be any assistance in the future, I would like to be so.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And you did, I forgot, you should state your full name and address for the record.
No problem. I did, but it's James Jaron, 188 Berkshire Ave.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Cynthia Lamoureux, 132 Granville Road. I have my first comment I want to make is I want to give a thumbs up to Jason Perone for grabbing the reins and working on getting us a better electric rate. So I think he deserves a pat on the back for working on that. And my other comments are not so great. I was appalled at the behavior of one of our finance committee members at the Board of Health meeting on December 15th, 2022. At timestamp 48 minutes and 46 seconds, Joe Didi stated that he wanted to ask a few questions at the end of the interview of a prospective candidate for the health director position. Problem number one that I have with this is, since when is the chairman of the finance committee allowed to participate in the interview process for any applicant? This has never happened, so it could be used to set a new precedent that allows anyone in the audience to ask questions of any applicant during the interview process. Why would he have a question to ask? He's not involved in the hiring decision, and he is not a member of the select board. Mr. Moglen was in attendance at this meeting, so it seems that he was not bothered by this. Problem number two is the use of the F-bomb at timestamp 48 minutes and 58 seconds during his questioning. He said he was looking for a one-word answer, not an effing story. This is appalling behavior. What must this applicant think of the professional behavior of our town? This is not the first time he's been guilty of using that word at public meeting. I would like an explanation of this and assurance that situations like this will not continue. I would like to know what actions have been taken to ensure that this behavior does not happen again by the next select board meeting. 5 copies. One for each of you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the room that wants to make a public comment? Is there anyone on Zoom that would like to make a public comment?
Don't see any, Mr. Chairman.
All right, then we are going to go to the hearing, and I'm going to read the legal notice. Legal notice, Town of Southwick, fiscal 2022 Community Development Block Grant Application. Public hearing notice. The Southwick Board of Selectmen will conduct a public hearing regarding its proposed fiscal 2022 Community Development Fund application to the Massachusetts Community Development Block Grant Program. The meeting will be held on Monday, February 6, 2023, 6 p.m. at the Southwick Town Hall located at 454 College Highway, Southwick, Mass. The proposed application outlines programs and services to benefit residents in Southwick. The proposed grant application will seek funds for Phase 2 construction of Bungalow Street and public social services. Additional projects will be discussed and may be included in the grant application. The public hearing will offer residents of both communities the opportunity to comment on proposed projects. Pioneer Valley Planning Commission will assist the Town of Southwick Board of Selectmen, who will be responsible for administration of the application if awarded. Any person or organization having questions or comments concerning the proposed application will have an opportunity to be heard. Persons who require special accommodations should contact Southwick Selectmen's office 1 week prior to the hearing date. This meeting will be held in person and virtually. Russell S. Fox, Chairman, Southwick Board of Selectmen. Need a motion to open?
So moved.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Doug Mogul, aye.
Russ Fox, aye. Jason, you want to vote on that to open the meeting?
Aye.
Okay, Jason Cronin is an aye. All right,
Okay, sorry, folks. And that can't do for
all set?
electronically, yes. I think
Okay.
so.
Gabe, if you want to introduce yourself, I'm going to let you kick off this hearing. Just started, he's already looking for
Hi, my name is Gabriel Filer. And I'm with the Pioneer Valley Planning Commission. So I'm working with my colleagues in the Office of Community Development. And what we're doing today is we are making sure that we are applying for CDBG grants with the town of Southwick. And we are looking for funding for doing infrastructure, which involves doing work with Phase 2 construction of bungalow. And we're looking at helping fund our community food pantry. Our community food pantry has been receiving funding from the Massachusetts Community Development Block Grant for many years. So we're going to continue doing that. This year, we're doing a 2-year, it's a compounded fiscal year grant. So we're combining, the state of Massachusetts is combining 2 fiscal years into 1 grant application cycle. Grant applications are due on March 3rd, and we have put out a social services RFP. Our community food pantry has expressed interest, and we will be having them part of our grant application. We have put out a social services RFP back in last month, and the deadline for responses was February 3rd. So yeah, any questions?
well, let's open it up first to the board. Mr. Mogul, any,
None at this time.
Mr. Peron, any questions at this time?
Not at this time.
Okay, then I'm going to open it up to the public in this room to make comments or questions. And then I'll open it up on Zoom. Is there anyone here that would like to make a comment or a question at this time? I see a food bank. Sally, did you want to state anything? Support?
No, the board has already submitted the application. We requested for 127,000. Just so you know, that so the public knows right now, we're serving about 2,500 people last year in the town of Southwick, over 1,000 households. Visits to the pantry last year were about 6,500. And we gave it over 122,000 pounds of food. So we have some grants. We've got help with operations and to keep the country.
Sally, could you just give your full name and your position?
Located in 20 college.
Thank you, Sally. Is there anyone else with a comment or a question? Is there anyone on Zoom with a comment or a question?
I don't see anything.
All right. David, you did a fantastic job. Erica usually keeps us here for at least an hour, so you're doing great. The only thing I'll say, this has been a great program. It's benefited a lot of people in the town of Southwick. And it's done wonders for our community food pantry. And also it's allowed us to start to address the needs of roads that are not town accepted roads. We did Veteran Street, we're working on Bungalow next. And then we're also in the design for North Lake, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's great for all those people in those neighborhoods. And we've also done other fantastic programs, addressing facades over the years, and the list goes on. So thank you to Pioneer Valley Planning Commission and all the hard work you people do. With that, I'm going to read off a proposed motion if there's no other questions. Okay. Motion to authorization of Pioneer Valley Planning Commission to submit the proposed fiscal 22 Southwick Community Development Fund grant application to the Massachusetts Department of Housing and Community Development in an amount not to exceed $1,160,000 as detailed in the public hearing, and to include infrastructure improvements for phase 2 construction of Bungalow Street, as well as social service programs assisting residents in Southwick. Need a motion?
So moved, Doug Mogul.
Seconded, Jason Peron.
Roll call vote, Russ Fox, aye.
Doug Mogul, aye.
Jason Peron, aye.
Second motion, authorization for the chair of the select board or acting chair to sign all required forms, documents, authorizations pertaining to the proposed fiscal 22 Southwick Community Development Fund grant application.
So moved, Doug Mogul.
Motion seconded, Jason Peron.
Roll call vote, Russ Fox, aye.
Doug Mogul, aye.
Jason Peron, aye.
You have it. Gabe.
Motion for the chair to sign.
Okay, and I think I've already signed one for Gabe.
Yeah, and then I got Robin an updated version of the. Just the motion.
Yep, okay. So we got that. That's what I
Gabe,
read.
Gabe, do you have the sign-in sheet for the hearing?
I have it right here.
Yep, she has it, and then you can email it to me.
Okay, you'll need that.
All right, so Gabe, you're all set? Need a motion to close the hearing?
Oops. So moved.
Motion seconded.
Roll call vote, Russ Fox, aye.
Russ Fox, aye. Doug Mogul, aye. Kidding.
Jason Peron, aye.
Okay, thank you. All right. Then we are going on, if there's nothing else from you, Gabe, right? Okay, next thing we have is a meeting with Cindy Sullivan. And this is concerning the COA and Park and Rec Director and her assistant Carl. All right, come on up. If people need to leave, go ahead. We'll give you a few minutes to get out of the room.
Thank you guys for turning. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, you're fine.
Take your time.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, while they're getting ready to sit before you at the table, we do have the other issue that we had added to the agenda under the amendments for the income guidelines for the senior citizen tax workout program. So let's cover that after this beach discussion.
All right, that's in our chair mail.
Yes,
So let me find that very quickly.
because I know Cindy's going to want to get going with
All right.
recruiting people under that program.
All right, I think everybody's got it. Did you got it? You found it, Jason?
Yes.
Okay.
You're always making sure you can see the screen. I don't think you'd find
Doug.
an open meeting law.
Did you find it or in your chair mail?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Cindy, I apologize. Go ahead.
Okay. So thank you for having us here. I'm Cindy Sullivan. This is Kara Cartello. We are looking forward to the beach opening, hopefully for a full season this year. And last year, we did not come before you to ask for an increase in the salaries of our beach staff, but it's becoming abundantly clear that we needed to do that for this year. As you know, costs are going up, salaries are going up, and we anticipate that with our beach staff, who are usually students and young adults who are in college, looking for jobs in the summer. So we're proposing, do you want me to go? You all have this that we.
Yeah, go ahead.
So last year, the manager was at $15.50. We had an assistant manager at $15, and lifeguards were paid $15. And if we have gate attendants who are not lifeguard certified, then they are at $14.25. We're proposing an increase this year based on other areas who have increased their salaries for lifeguards, to the manager making $18 an hour, the assistant manager $17 an hour, and lifeguards at $16.50. What Kara started several years ago, which was a great idea, was to have all of the staff certified in lifeguarding. It made it easier for staffing purposes, whether they were at the gate or lifeguarding. Just made it a lot easier to mix and match if kids called out sick, etc. Vacations, you know, students still take vacations in the summer, even though they have a summer job. So if there were any just gate attendants, they would be at $15 an hour. We never know whether that's going to be the case or not. It depends on lifeguard training, which they pay for 100%. Before they can be a lifeguard at the beach, they have to pay for the lifeguard training, which again, Kara has had a great relationship with Mora and Holyoke, and they are charged $100 for that they pay out of their own pocket before they are even hired with us. So we're asking for an increase in our line item for beach salaries. I don't know how much you want me to read of this, or
Well, I'm just trying to,
you want to start
See,
asking questions.
right.
and-
as a personnel board, we would make the
Mhm.
decision on the pay.
Yep.
All right, then addressing the budget,
Mhm.
when do you open the beach?
So we open the beach at the end of June, but we need to start advertising as soon as possible because other communities have already started advertising for their summer staff.
Yeah.
So we would like to start advertising within the next few weeks because we have to do interviews and we like to know how much they're gonna get paid because that
Okay.
drives a lot of what the students will apply for.
All right, so this is how I would look at it,
Mhm.
that, you know, I have no problem accepting a motion to increase this because I think we need to.
Okay,
All right. You will have monies available to you that were already voted for this fiscal period to start. But it'll be up to the voters to increase the budget. Okay, we can recommend it,
Mhm.
you know, but then that'll take effect July 1st.
Correct. We already
All right.
have money in our budget to cover
Right,
what those because the
She's
beach-
got the funds to cover through
Beach
June
closed
30.
early, so you should have funds available for
we
this
do,
fiscal
we
year,
absolutely do.
but
They
you
do.
need town
They're
meeting
good.
Approval.
Yes,
to
we're
carry
good
this.
for this year.
to carry it
correct.
forward. That's
Yep.
all I'm getting at.
Yep.
So
Mhm.
I want to make sure we're clear on that,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, well, the line item has to increase anyway, just to comply with the minimum wage.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. Because we do take that point of view in the town of Southwick that we're gonna give minimum wage, even though towns and cities are
Mhm.
exempt
Mhm.
from that. But, okay, questions?
None.
Question? I think it's pretty straightforward. I'll accept the motion.
Doug Mogul, so moved.
Jason Peron seconded.
Roll call vote, Russ Fox, aye.
Doug Mogul, aye.
Jason Peron, aye.
Easy enough.
So are these the prices we can advertise for?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
You
Great,
just gotta
thank you.
roll them into they'll get rolled into the budget
Yep.
for fiscal year,
Okay,
upcoming fiscal year.
perfect, thank you.
Now, while you're here,
I am here.
let's kill two birds, one stone. All right. Go ahead. You're going to be talking about the senior citizen tax work-off program.
So, the senior citizen tax work-off program has been in effect for about 5 years through the Council on Aging. And currently it has a income guideline attached to people who qualify to be able to make up to $1,500 off their taxes from July 1st until March 31st. And it comes off of their fourth quarter taxes now. And when it was half the year, it was their second quarter taxes. I'm proposing that we eliminate the income guidelines and allow seniors who want to work to get money off their taxes and have their income not be a prohibitive factor. Other communities have done it. When I am approving people now, I've had 3 or 4 people who are disqualified because of their income. I've increased it over the years to try to fill that gap, and it still seems like the program doesn't get filled with people who want to work to get money off their taxes because of the income, not because of their inability to do it or their want or having a placement for them. It's simply because of that.
Okay.
So we did, Mr. Steinhardt and I did reach out to the town,
Auditor.
auditor. I was gonna say assessor, I knew that wasn't right. And
Right.
he did not see a problem with us doing this.
Okay.
Right.
How's the program working, Cindy? I mean, is it the same people every year or do you
It's-
rotate it or?
So we have up to 10 slots. I've never been able to fill the 10 slots primarily because of the income barrier.
Okay,
So it isn't the same people. I always have 1 or 2 new people. Some people fall off. Some people have done it for several years. So it really varies.
Yeah.
It varies.
and the different jobs, I know the attendance at the boat ramp was one of
Yep,
them.
that
but-
was a job we did when the program started. We did have someone at the
Yeah.
beach,
Right,
running the gate.
okay,
We have someone at the library right now. We have someone in the town clerk's office. We had someone in the assessor's office. We had someone in accounting this year. I always have someone in the COA helping in the kitchen. And I think those are the positions in the schools. We used to have several people at the schools and then COVID happened and no one wanted to be around the kids that could be spreading the COVID. So we only have 1 person placed in the library at Powder Mill right now. And she's
Okay.
doing great.
okay, thank you.
Yep.
Ms. Morgan, questions?
No, I think this was a great program. What was the income limit now?
I knew you were gonna ask me that. I don't recall. Is it in there? Did I send that in?
Yeah, Cindy, I think under one
I
of your
just read your
pages,
email that I was gonna be talking about this tonight, so.
yeah, income is 54, comma, 360 for a single
Right.
and 73, 240 for married.
And even those higher incomes have been challenging for people to, they make more than that in this community. Not everyone, but people who are wanting to do the program.
Jason, any questions?
As Mr. Nolan said, anything that can save people money is worthwhile, in my opinion.
And they have to do 105 hours of work in order, they get paid basically what the minimum wage is, so now it's $15, so every hour of work is worth $15, and that equals about $1,500.
Okay. I'm gonna accept the motion before one of these guys makes some wisecrack about me working.
Well,
You're a
since you
town
brought it
employee,
up,
so you can't. You're a town employee, Mr. Fox, so you're ineligible.
Thank you, Cindy. That was very tactful, thank you. Mr. Mogul, motion?
I'll make that motion to remove the income requirement to this program.
I will second the motion.
Roll call vote, Russ Fox, aye.
Doug Mogul and I.
Jason Peron, aye.
All right,
Thank you.
2 for 2.
2 for
That's
2.
that's not bad.
We're leaving. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. All right. Okay, it's not quite 6:30, so I'm gonna try to knock off a couple of quick things before our next appointment. Acknowledge payroll warrant number 2318 dated 1/31/23 in the amount of $252,387.78. I need a motion to accept the open session minutes dated 1/30/23.
Doug Mogul will make that motion.
Jason Peron will second.
Okay, roll call vote. Russ Fox, aye.
Doug Mogul, aye.
Jason Peron, aye.
Okay, I'm gonna pass out the executive session minutes. Need a motion to accept the executive sessions minutes dated 1/30/23.
I'll make that motion as amended. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th paragraph just needs a one sentence to be clearer.
Okay. Any problems? Last paragraph.
So I'll second that motion.
Okay, roll call vote. Russ Fox, aye.
Doug Mogul, aye.
Jason Peron, aye.
If we could pass them all back, please.
I'm gonna hang on to this and make a note for you. Sure. It's just one word, I think. Don't wanna go into it yet. Yep.
Okay. Okay, under action items, approve the Southwick Police Department request for use of fiscal 21 911 incentive grant for backup dispatch council. And I believe we got a letter from Chief Landis that describes what they're going to do. It's approximately $23,893.87. And this has been approved by the fire chief also, and we have the fire chief, Rich Stanovic, in the room. Good evening. You're aware of.
Yes, I am. Chief Landis and I spoke about it as an alternate plan to what was initially proposed. And it solves many issues. It also gives us the backup and the conductivity that we needed. So it's a good need for us to do. But I can do the incentive plan.
Okay, questions or a motion?
I just had one question. I don't see the chief. I see the lieutenants on. One of the topics that was discussed previous was to utilize that space as a kind of a duty room or have an office in that space so that if someone did come into the station during regular office hours, there would be someone in the vicinity of that window. I don't know if that's changed or if you know anything about that or
So-
Lieutenant Bannick.
Lieutenant Bannick and I can probably both speak to that. If you want to start with him first, and I can fill in anything that I might know in addition to that.
Lieutenant, can I put you on the spot for a second? I guess not.
So my understanding is that that room would be dual purpose and maybe even through triple purpose, where it would also serve as a conference room, but also the command center in the event that we actually had an emergency that took out our original dispatch center, even for storm activation and things of that nature. So it'd still be able to do that. This console is more compact, it's the same, it mimics the one that's already at the dispatch center in Westfield. So any dispatch would then be able to come down and utilize that system without even skipping a beat. So that's kind of the intent there. So there is still a plan to utilize that open space for meetings and for conference and for emergency operations.
Awesome. Thank you.
Motion or questions?
No questions. A backup is a good thing.
Need a motion?
Doug Mogul, so moved.
Jason Peron seconded.
Roll call vote. Russ Fox, aye.
Doug Mogul, aye.
Jason Peron, aye.
Okay, I don't see Mr. Sanders here yet. Is he coming? Are they having their meeting right now?
They are. Yeah, conference room, 3.
They're downstairs.
Who's that?
We asked that the historical commission also be here for the discussion, but we'll have to fill them in. All right, 6:30, so if you gentlemen want to come on up and have a seat.
So I guess getting you the Molons, not even on the table.
I'm sorry?
Is that getting you the most Molons isn't on the table?
Oh, well, you know.
I just thought I'd check.
All right, we asked everybody to attend tonight because we want to see where we are with the police department, the slate roof and the cupola.
You gonna start?
Okay, David has a CPC form for
Okay,
your signature tonight,
okay,
to present to get the funds approved by them
okay,
for this repair.
all right. The CPC approved the design, all right,
Yes.
last year.
Right.
And,
Excuse, they approved the assessment. That still have to
Assessment.
be a design done
Okay,
as part of what David is gonna have as a project budget.
okay, so this is for the design or is actual
The
repair?
design is in there. We just had that updated today
Okay,
from the
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna try service.
The
Right, it's supposed to be for both. It's supposed to be for design and construction.
okay. Thank
Because
you.
it's a small design and it falls under a small dollar threshold under the procurement laws.
Okay. Go ahead, Art. I'm
I
sorry.
was gonna say the assessment was pretty much complete enough to use that as like 99% of the design.
Okay,
Such things as what type of fasteners weren't discussed. And that's about the only thing that's missing from the design aspect.
okay. So I know nobody has copies of this, right? So why don't the cupola repair is 14,000, slate repair 28,000, design fees 6,300. Which would total $48,300, 15% contingency, which we all know everything has gone up tremendously every time we go out to bid. So that'd be $7,245. Total estimated $55,545. And this is something where we would be submitting this application of community preservation for historical funds, correct?
That is correct.
Right, now, I know informally talking to the chairman of the historical commission, they've given a thumbs up to this. You
Yes,
know,
they
and
have
you
a-
met
a
with
letter
them,
to present to you
Okay.
tonight.
and we do have a letter from the historical commission that is in support of this and feels that it does meet the criteria.
That and all the other documentation that David has will accompany the CPC application.
Okay. All right, so questions? Questions?
None at this time.
Okay. I'll accept a motion to authorize the chair to sign an application that'll go to the Community Preservation Committee.
Doug Mogul, so moved.
Seconded,
Roll call vote, Russ Fox, aye.
Doug Mogul, aye.
Jason Peron, aye. On the agenda for, I believe it's the 15th with CPC.
Well, thank you, gentlemen, for all the work you do.
Very well.
Slowly but surely, and why I have you right here, I know I've been reading the emails going back and forth on the roof project here. It looks like that we finally have the materials and now we're just trying to schedule a time when the weather permits for them to actually start working on this and also have that mesh with your HVAC, correct?
Yeah, we not only have the materials, we actually have the first invoice for
Oh, well, that's very nice
them.
of
That
them.
won't be approved until we go down and actually visit their warehouse and document that it's a bonded warehouse and that our materials are actually in there. I'll do a quantity takeoff on what they have to make sure we're paying, or we're getting what we're paying for.
Okay, excellent. And timetable, I've been seeing it going back and forth. What do you think?
Hoping for a late March start,
Okay,
weather depending, of course.
and David, as far as the HVAC,
Yeah, the Adams Plumbing Heating was here just last week. We did a walkthrough again with the company. And they're getting everything, all their ducks are in a row. They're gonna be sending some guys out to do some checking to see, make sure that they have all the right equipment and the right necessary supplies that they need and trying to work on a time schedule. We should be getting that sometime this week as far as their timeline. So we're looking to mesh them about the same time, so we cut down on the drag out.
Okay, because we're kind of doing this a little bit different than what we had planned, correct?
Yeah, it was originally looking for a fall.
Right,
start.
now we're starting late March, maybe first week of April, something like that.
If they're gonna operate inside that timeline where the system stuff, both sides go offline, so we'll be able to get everything done in a time without affecting the conditions of the inside of the building.
Okay, so we should really have this all accomplished before bad weather next fall.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Yeah, we're looking for a July completion.
for everything.
Yes.
Oh, that's
Yeah, the more important thing is the cooling season. That's why David's talking to the company about what the lead time is for the HVAC components to show up from a supply chain point of view.
They already bought most of the equipment, everything on a few items,
Good.
So you said they're getting their ducks in a row.
literally. It's an HVAC plant.
All right. Thank you very much. Any other questions? Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, gentlemen.
You appreciate it.
Good night. Good night. All right, we've taken care of everybody as far as appointments, so we're going back to the action folder. Okay, the next thing up is Southwick Fire Department new EMS ambulance unit increase cost. Rich, this isn't good news, but go ahead. Come on up.
No, unfortunately, it's not. The industry itself, not only for ambulance manufacturing, but for fire apparatuses, has been hit remarkably hard by supply chain as well as even availability for skilled labor. One of the outcomes of that, the unfortunate outcome is a unpredicted increase. So this has been happening for about 18 months now, almost 24 months in the industry, where the purchase orders have been set forward, the equipment is ordered, and by the time it shows up, the price tag is increased. So we've already seen two components of the ambulance is the chassis and then the custom parts that are being manufactured. And overall, they're looking, the predicted increase right now is anywhere from $25,000 to $30,000 on the cost of the ambulance that we ordered last summer. So the chassis has been delayed. We hope to have the chassis delivered and the truck built by the beginning to mid-fall of 2023. So there's really not much we can do to expedite it, and there's not much we can do to lower the price, except apply for grants. So I've been working with the Fire Chief Anderson and our grant writer to try to get a grant through the AFG, which is Assistance to Firefighters Grant, to supplement the cost of the power load and the stretcher, which could very easily offset about $40,000 to $50,000 in the cost of the truck. So that would be helpful as well. But again, no guarantee because it is a grant. The second part of that is in this year's AFG, they allow us to request service agreements, which would be an additional $6,000 to $10,000 on the service agreement for 10 years for just that stretcher and the power load, which is something, a cost we incur now for the maintenance of the existing trucks, but it's certainly nice to offset that the next time it comes around in the 5-year mark, which would probably, I believe, 2025. So that's what we're up against right now.
Just a question, is this something that, and Carl, is this may be in your area more than the chiefs, but is this something that we can address contractually when we go to order rolling stock next time? That it's when you sign a purchase and sale for a car, they rarely, I mean, and this is probably a different business, but you even for a truck, a commercial truck, purchase and sale goes through, they put a purchase and sale through to the frame maker, the box maker, and they may increase the price for future orders, but not something that's already been ordered and booked.
And it is kind of an odd area. We've been working with our vendor from Specialty Vehicles on this, and he has tried to fight this as long as he can, but he's the one that's kind of stuck in the middle. He has these agreements to produce and provide vehicles, but the costs are going up, so he's paying more and he just has to, he can't absorb it. It's not how he runs his business. Unfortunately, it gets passed on to the consumer.
Right,
Is
our
actually-
contract is not with the supplier, of the material, all the way up the supply chain, Doug. It's with this company, so. If they took a few hits like this, they'd be out of business, and that's why we ran into it with even the issues with your gasoline bids and diesel bids when we were notified and I had to share that information with you.
Correct.
So,
And that's
and then
council to
Fire
review
Chief
it,
Anderson
because-
ran into issues when he was closing out his budget from last year. And Randy ran into some issues, so this is widespread.
Well, I understand that. I'm just saying, can we get better on future procurement activities so that, I get it. But, at the same time, it's difficult to go back to the taxpayers and to the well to say, okay, I feel bad for specialty
Absolutely.
vehicles, but
Mhm.
we bought a truck and
Right.
we signed a contract, we did all the specs, we budgeted for it, went to town meeting, it's legislatively approved.
Right.
We bought the truck. I get it.
The
Well,
timeline
we-
is actually.
Yeah, we could try to have conversations like that, but I think at the end of the day, they'd be willing to say, well, we just need to go on to the next, whether they call it, I'm not going to say it's an act of God, but what are those other provisos in their agreements where they would just go on and say, we're going to just sell the chassis to the next community?
I get it. I'm not an attorney. I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. And I don't think this rises to a level of force majeure, right? But where someone could claim that this was an act of God that caused component prices to increase at this juncture. It
Right.
just seems it's straight up contract stuff. And we've talked about the fuel thing, and that's with council to review from a contract perspective. Somebody walked away from a fuel contract. There may be a legal remedy there to go after that supplier to hold them true to their deal. And I get it. This is a cooperative business. I understand it. I just want to, and I was really trying to put a stake in the ground and say, hey, look, this isn't the first time it's happened, and it's not a piece of fire apparatus in specific, but we should tighten up our language in our contracts and with our suppliers to say, hey, this is what we expect to pay. This is what we're going to pay.
And the duration always has caused the retailers to build that increase in. Say, okay, this is what it costs right now, but when you get your truck in 9 months or 12 months, this is the price tag. But it's just been, 7 to 14% increases on a lot of raw materials and manufactured goods. The timing is very good, though. We will know about the grant before the truck gets here, so we'll know, and so it may just be a special meeting if necessary to appropriate.
I remember when we were talking on Tower, the cost escalations on Tower, and this was pre-COVID, because it came in during COVID, right?
Yeah.
But pre-COVID, that the escalation was about 8% per annum inflationary pressure on the apparatus coming into COVID. So there was a huge penalty to pay, if you will, to wait 2 more years to buy that tower, because it would have been 8% and then compound interest 8% on that 8%. So we pulled the trigger and bought that ladder. This is almost, we're in an unfortunate circumstance, right? The ambulance got creamed. This is a replacement ambulance.
This is right.
But, we're getting the worst of both worlds in that we ordered the ambulance. It's taking a long time to get it. And because it's taking a long time to get it, the price is going up on the town for waiting. Tough. I understand where, and I'm not picking on you, chief. I'm really not.
I
It's just
make you aware
I'm
of
a-
it as it becomes available to us.
in general, when
I've asked for a little bit more solid numbers, but they can't do it. It's too unpredictable.
and I get it. It's just in general, when we try, outside of here, when I see something that's aberrant, is to try to next time get better. So if there's a way, whether it's through procurement, purchasing, through forward payment, whatever, to try to make it
Yeah.
less impactful, we should take a look at all those avenues. That's
So
all.
noted.
Don't know that.
Thank you,
Right.
Mr. Steinhardt.
Thank you.
All right, Rich. Now that we've had the bad news, let's have some good
Yeah, the
news.
So, we have an opportunity to, support a provisional hire. So we had, put out for interested parties, and one of the people that responded to us is a young by the name of Nick Chambers. Nick, if you could join us, please. So Nick is interested in a provisional position with the fire department. He understands that the provisional hire is temporary and not a guarantee of full-time. But he's also been working very hard at getting certified firefighter 1 and 2, or some firefighter 1, and also completing his EMT. He's been picking up quite a few provisional per diem shifts for us, and would like to present him as a candidate for provisional hire.
Excellent, excellent. What do you think, Nick? Are we gonna become a paramedic or?
I'd like to think about it, yep. for
Okay,
sure.
all right. Do I have to talk to your mother and father about this?
You might have to.
Okay, I will.
Or as grandparents.
Or, that's right, or your grandparents, I could talk to them too. All right, I think you've been in front of this board before, Nick. You're a good applicant. I certainly don't have any questions or qualms. Smogglin?
I'm not talking to his parents.
Maybe you should buy your mom some flowers.
Good. No, I think this is excellent.
Excellent. Yeah, I think this is good. Motion?
Doug Mogul, so moved for Nicholas
I
Chambers.
will second the motion.
All right, roll call vote. Russ Fox, aye.
Doug Mogul, aye.
Jason Peron, aye.
Congratulations, Nick.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Nick.
All right, by the way, Nick, the last firefighter through the academy graduated #1.
No pressure, no pressure. All right, thanks, chief.
Thank you.
All right. All right, good news, bad news, okay,
We're not alternating, right? We're gonna stay on good news for a little bit.
yeah, I things are out of order now in my action folder, so.
SPD Assistant ACO. Mr. Brown.
Okay,
That's this. Here you go.
okay, that got put in
There
there,
you
so I'm
go. I'll
gonna,
work with you.
okay, I got it. It's just got a little out of control. All right, so we have a letter here from the Southwick Police Department, Office of Animal Control. It's a recommendation to a job application from Jeffrey Brown regarding position of Assistant Animal Control Officer for the town of Southwick. Chief Landis and the Animal Control Officer interviewed and are making a recommendation to offer the position to Mr. Brown. We have his application. He's
Retired Army.
right.
Mhm.
All right, any questions?
No, the gentleman has, besides a long military career, he has ACO experience in a neighboring town or close to a neighboring town.
Yep.
No objections.
Okay, I need a motion.
So moved. Doug Mogul.
Seconded. Okay, roll call vote. Russ Fox, aye.
Doug Mogul, aye.
Jason Peron, aye.
Okay, next is a donation to the Southwick Library. Stephen and Cheryl Fortier, $50 donation in memory of Irene Wolf. David and Sandra Norman, a $50 donation in memory of Irene Wolf. Donna Baldrini, a donation $11.34. I don't know if the Optima overnight delivery and the fines are actual donations, but I'll read them off. Optima overnight, $208.12 reimbursements for items damaged in interlibrary loan delivery, $8 cash donation, and they collected $5 in fines.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to, obviously, we'll have to make that acceptance of that motion conditioned upon the town accountant satisfaction on those funds, whether the fines can go into that gift account or whether they have to go to another part of the general fund under miscellaneous revenue or what are called tailings.
Okay, so I'll accept the motion based on what the CAO said.
Right.
So moved for the CAO.
Seconded.
Roll call vote. Russ Fox, aye.
Doug Mogul, aye.
Jason Peron, aye.
And many thanks to the people that did make cash donations, or any kind of donations at all. Okay, next thing up is, we have, out of our gift account, we have been a corporate member of the Southwick Rotary. And so we need to determine whether or not we want to continue with that. If so, we'd need to make a motion to pay our dues, which are $155.
I went to a couple of meetings. I mean, it's up to you, Mr. Chairman and Mr. Brown.
I have no problem. I have yet to make it with my schedule, but
Well, the idea or the concept was we were gonna try to get, a department head to go with us or somebody, to talk about the town of Southwick at the meetings and it was kind of an outreach you know, and also be aware of different programs that Rotary is doing. I mean, they do a heck of a job with the summer concert series, which is a lot of work, so. I wouldn't be opposed to continuing it, and taking the money out of our gift account if somebody wants to make that motion.
So moved.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, roll call vote, Russ Fox, aye.
Doug Mogul, aye.
Jason Peron, aye.
Robin, can you make sure that we get the funds for to the Southwick Rotary, please? Okay, now we have,
Nina, I'll let you know when's the next meeting.
yeah, you're going.
Just don't give
We
them
have
your, cell-
dinner.
don't give them your cell phone number.
Okay, next is Southwick Police Department, Office of Animal Control. And this is to approve accepting donations totaling $354.50. And they want this to go to the Animal Control Medical Gift Fund. And the people, I have M. Bryant of Southwick, Mass, $60. R. Moreau of West Suffield, Connecticut, 25. J. Lynch of Brimfield, Mass, $100. S. Page of Southwick, Mass, $20. IBS, Interstate Building Supply of Southwick, Mass, $149.50. I need a motion.
Doug Mogul, so moved. With our thanks.
Seconded,
Roll call vote, Russ Fox, aye.
Doug Mogul, aye.
Jason Peron, aye.
Now, do not have
I'll
in
make a
my,
motion to authorize the CAO to attend and set the Western Hampton Veterans District fiscal year 24 budget.
okay,
Thank you. That's coming up.
all right, it's a second motion made and second, roll call vote, Russ Fox, aye.
Doug Mogul, aye.
Jason Peron, aye.
Okay, now we're going to our chair mail. Okay, the first thing is a vote to approve Southwick Police Department Drug Take Back Grant Award in the amount of $1,300.
So moved.
Seconded,
Roll call vote, Russ Fox, aye.
Doug Mogul, aye.
Jason Peron, aye.
Okay. We have a sewer abatement of $267.97 for address 581 College Highway. We'll be doing this acting as sewer commissioners. Need a motion?
Doug Mogul will make that motion.
Need a
Is that
second?
a residence or is
It looks like it's, it says an LLC, but I'm looking real quick. Looks like
581, I believe that's at the, they met with the, this is sewer?
yeah, well, they met with the water commissioners,
So this is the other half. of it.
right,
So
the
this
other
is-
half of
yeah.
that. They gave them an abatement.
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
I think we saw him leaving last week, right?
oh, okay, all right. all
Yeah,
right.
Jason,
Yeah.
once the water commissioners make a decision on abating a flow issue, then that changes the amount of sewage that's coming out of something.
okay?
What goes up must come down.
All right, so I need a motion for an abatement of $267.97.
Doug Mogul, so moved.
Jason Peron, seconded.
Roll call vote, Russ Fox, aye.
Doug Mogul, aye.
Jason Peron, aye.
All right, I'm gonna pass the book around so we can
Go
sign it.
that way first, that way,
Okay,
come back this way. Please.
Jason, that was your first act as a sewer commissioner.
No, you made me raise the rates my first meeting.
Oh, that was your second act.
So I said, thanks a lot for that.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I didn't.
Give that back to you.
Okay, next is, I had a conversation with the chairman of the finance committee to set our budget hearing. Those are the budget hearings that we do on Saturday.
Mhm.
We start at 8 AM, get done by 12:30. We do it, 2 Saturdays in March, so, we came up with March 11th and March 25th. That fit into everybody's schedule, I hope.
Does now.
Okay,
I'll make it work.
okay,
My phone, I shut it off to be safe, so.
all right. No, it's pretty important. That's where we get to go over every single budget.
I'll have no problem.
All right. And Robin, the budget books, do you
I
have
don't
our
do them.
old ones?
I need to collect them, but I don't do them any longer. Accounting does. them.
Accounting doesn't, but you need our old,
If you have them, the dividers are the most important thing.
okay. Jason doesn't have one. I have to think, whether.
I thought I
mine's-
brought the binder back in, but I thought I recycled all the stuff from the middle.
All right, I
I'll
will
check.
check on mine.
So, all we can do.
Okay.
But I didn't do anything wrong
You didn't-
this time.
Okay, the next we have finally an applicant for the Housing Authority, Jason Grunwall. He's submitted an application and, I ran into him, last week. And I asked him if he could come into our next meeting. So if we could put him on the agenda for our meeting, which is gonna be on Wednesday, the 15th. Okay, next thing I have is the ABCC clarification on the Prime Steakhouse LL transfer to meet ABCC regulations. And I thought I saw the attorney on Zoom. And I'm gonna recognize you so that you can kind of take us through this, because we're blazing new ground here.
Okay, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah, if you can
Okay,
say your
good.
name and all that, please.
Okay, sure. My name is Alexandra Hogan. I represent Prime Steakhouse. As you recall, Prime Steakhouse is an applicant for a liquor license that the town has approved. It got submitted to the ABCC. The ABCC kicked it back to the town because as part of the closing package, which was submitted to the ABCC, there was some documentation that included a reference to a pledge of the liquor license based on performance of a long-term lease. The ABCC is not going to approve the application with that language in the documentation. A pledge is only authorized on a loan. So we went ahead and revised two of the closing documents, one being the pledge and the other being the security agreement, to remove any references to the pledge being related to the lease. And it's my understanding that once the board approves the revised language, taking out the reference to the pledge on the lease, that the documentation will then just be resubmitted to the ABCC for approval. There's no requirement for further notice or public hearing on that.
that's correct. Robin verified that with the ABCC office today.
All right, so what is our motion like, Carl? Just to accept the changes?
Yeah, to accept the changes as set forth by the Prim Steakhouse Council in compliance with the ABCC regulations.
If there's any questions, other than that, I'll accept the motion. So move.
Seconded,
Okay, roll call vote. Russ Fox, aye.
Doug Mogul, aye. Jason Peron, aye.
All right, yeah, you have our approval and hopefully we can get started and open. I saw
Ms.
things.
Davio's on the line.
Oh, would you like to make any statement? I saw something on the news, Channel 22, so.
Russ is getting hungry, Deb.
Yes, we are moving as fast as we can. Once the liquor license is transferred, we should be ready to go. We're looking for a mid-February, late February opening. So we're ready to go as soon as we get this.
Okay, thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going on. Authorized change to eliminate, oh, we already did that one. Okay.
Right, yeah, we had moved that out of order because Cindy was at the meeting.
All right, so we're going to new business. Mr. Steinhardt, new business?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, this is, this particular professional conduct policy is something that has come out of Meyer recommendations. So this is what some of the other Maya communities have been, going through the process of adopting their for their community. So this was something that Kim stated that we would have to have your board approve this so that we could include this in the draft employee handbook that's under revision.
Okay,
So you would be doing a couple of readings, because it's usually when you do policies, it's a first reading and a second reading, unless you vote to suspend that and just make it as one single vote one time. But there's
Yeah,
there's no rush for this. There's other stuff Kim's working on with that, and Nadine is also starting to work with her on different components of the book.
okay, so why don't we hold off to the first reading till our next meeting? Gives everybody a chance to go over it, and Nadine can give us a report maybe if she's here at the next meeting. Fair enough, Mr. Steinhardt?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Any other new business, Mr. Steinhardt?
Not at the moment, sir.
Okay. New business, Mr. Mogul? No, sir. Mr. Perone?
I just want to mention I had my second outreach with the citizens of the town that showed up. Some good dialogue back and forth. There's some interest in some different things that folks want to propose possibly or petition to have put on the town meeting. Just to pass along what was mentioned to me was term limits. And there's not concern, but interest in changing the town moderator or the finance committee, the structure there within to a similar CPC. People are interested in seeing if we could do a part elected, part appointed. That's those are two of the big things that came through. I did mention there was some concern about our survey, but I think that's been handled amongst our, Michelle Hill is involved in that. I have no concerns with any of that stuff. I just wanted to pass it on to everybody what was talked about. So.
Good. All right, then we're going to old business. First thing I said is we would be going over our goals and objectives to see if things that we wanted to add. I had two things that I wanted to see if the board would add to our goals for this coming year. The first is, and we already started working on it, but if it's on there, hopefully we can get it done, is a flag policy. Does anybody have any problems with adding that?
Nope.
Okay,
You got me on that already, so.
okay. And the next thing I'd like the board to consider is to start to do more work. We've been approached informally by the state, but to start to do more work about charging stations, looking at it both private and public. I know
I
that.
believe that's something that John Goddard was having discussions with David Sutton about for the public properties.
Right, I mean, you remember they approached us and we didn't meet the criteria to get the free stuff, and we didn't really think we had the best locations, public locations. But they were interested in looking at private locations, i.e. one of the perfect example they gave was Big Y and Ocean State Job Lot.
Well, I think one of the big things with charging stations, when you look at that stuff, is because they're going to have a certain type of dedicated parking space, is whether or not that changes the required parking layouts of these different properties in the community under their special permits that have been granted. So we definitely have to have the planning board involved in that review, because that might have to, necessitate them changing parking lot formulas.
Right.
Both on
And
municipal and private lots.
Yeah, that's why I want to get it on the goals, because I want to start the process going and get ahead of the curve rather than be behind the curve on this one. So any problems with adding that? Okay, those were the two main ones that I had. Mr. Mogul, do you have any off the top of your head, or?
No, I just plan to continue that we need to we're doing this year, this coming fiscal year for a couple of community compact style agreements like we've done in the past,
Yeah.
and they're becoming painfully obvious where they're necessary.
Right, so Doug, if you can give me a list of those subject areas that we should look at doing, we can work with the relevant department heads and maybe John Goddard's office for submission of those things.
I have a couple things I wrote down. Of course, I ran out.
That's okay. We
Without
can,
my
we
folder,
don't have to do it tonight. We can do it at the next meeting.
I bring some of them up next meeting.
Okay, no problem. And
Fine.
this is something where we can add them every meeting if we have to. I mean, we're not limited to that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Robin and that, remember we did the updates last week, so Robin's gonna take your inputs, Russ, and she'll add it to the other edits we did last week, and we'll bring you back another goals and objectives sheet for next week.
There you go. Thank you. All right, going on to North Pond violations and meetings with the department. Chief Landis is setting that up. I believe it's February 27th.
Yeah, end of the month.
I will be there along with all the other parties that came to the last meeting as the board's designee. We did have a sewer IMA meeting between Town Council, Ben Coyle, Randy Brown, DPW Director, Carl Steinhardt, myself. Was anybody else? It was just the four of us.
Nadine was there.
And Nadine was there. So I thought it was a good thing. Randy has done an incredible job on doing analysis on different rates and flows from the town of Southwick. And so now that we've had this meeting, we'll be taking up the Mayor Westfield on his offer to get together and have a little sit down and see if we can't. We believe in general, everything, all the terms and conditions. The attorneys have done a good job, and I think we can agree on all those. I think the only thing that's not settled is the rate. And of course, that's always the toughest one. It's certainly Randy's and Carl's and mine, and even our attorney, that we want to try to get a reasonable rate for the citizens of the town of Southwick. We've always worked well with our sister community of Westfield. We've extended offers that have benefited the city of Westfield in the past, i.e. the gas line on the rail trail to help them out. At one time, we were taking care of their dogs. So I think it's a little give and take, and hopefully we can come to a term that's acceptable. Marijuana, we're awaiting the results of the informal survey. Still nothing on the host agreement on Hudson Drive.
I did speak with town attorney on that. And he's going to forward a draft of the host agreement back to that facility, sans impact fee.
Okay. And then nothing, we haven't heard anything back.
I did place a call to the
Okay.
attorney person who had, one of the parties that had contacted us, Russ, and I played telephone tag, but I have not heard back from him.
Okay. And we now have a candidate for the housing authority, so we can scratch that off. We're still working with the speed limits at Deer Run. I heard that
Mr. Chairman, I received a lot of phone calls on this over the last week or so. The Southwick Police Department was going to put some temporary equipment out on that road to kind of measure average speed and number of cars and so on. And then they have the ability to put, the your speed thing is temporarily. However, they did such a great job that everyone thought that that was a permanent fixture being installed in front of their home. So kudos to DPW and DigSafe for doing such a great job of marking and installing those things, but that's what that is. And I also believe that there's been heightened enforcement in that area and the surrounding connector roads into and out of that subdivision. Resultant of this issue that was brought to our attention.
Right. Yeah, those signs are very effective. It does when they put one up on Davis Road.
Right.
It catches your eye real quick. you
And
know,
for a
so-
period of time before that, there's also, they're actually watching what the average is, and then they take a look at what happens after they put the sign
Yeah,
to see the result.
and then there's always that
Then there's Ernie Malone.
cruiser
Yeah.
kind of hidden there and pulling people over, and it's very effective.
Correct.
It's very effective. And the electricity, Jason's working on that.
Yeah,
And
I
then-
did speak to Beth Greenblatt, our previous energy consultant that worked with us on the net metering credits.
Okay,
And she was like that. So she's gonna also be talking to Jason
good.
so that they can have an idea what's going on with the this proposal in the context of the other things that we already have. Because we already have our electricity locked in for another year or two, but by the time this would be happening, then we may be looking at other parties that could be part of that deal.
Oh, absolutely. And I think even in the mailers you get at your house, I think I got another one today from a different energy supplier, where you can to lock in different rates.
Interesting, even Springfield, just within a week or two ago, was on the news. They're now looking into it.
Yeah,
So,
right.
and just for everybody's knowledge, right now, the rates are like locking in at 12.
Right.
So
Right.
they're down.
They're done. Natural gas is gonna be coming down
Yes,
too,
it's
so,
gonna be as
so that, those are two good things.
Fortunately, I don't get to use natural gas in my house, so.
All right,
Yeah, and of course, you understand that we knew in the late, during the fall that the energy prices were gonna start going up. So remember, we did do some line item freezes so that we could have funds locked in case we needed to transfer them over to the various utility line items to offset any energy deficit expenses we might have during this fiscal year, Mr. Chairman.
correct. Thank you for doing that too, Carl.
Well, the board did vote to authorize it.
Right. Okay, the Greens West Road, that's in front of the planning board.
Well, actually, we, John had been working with the developer and their attorney. So we have received back from Attorney Mark Beglane the process to start this acceptance. So we're going to be looking at doing the noticing requirements under the statute sometime this month for a March hearing with the developer, the planning board, the DPW, and others to come before you.
Okay,
And again, Mark already gave us the notice that goes to each homeowner and how to give them notice. And then once we hold the hearing the night of it, if you so choose, you can do the adoption of the layout, so forth, and then you can vote for a town meeting warrant article. So all of those instruments are in draft form, and those will come to you the evening of your hearing.
okay,
In fact, the
Thank you.
abutters list just got delivered to my office too.
good, very good. All right, any other old business? Anybody old business?
Well, that's good for me.
Okay, Mr. Mogul.
First, it's my intention to close out the marijuana survey this Friday, 2/10 for online responses. And then at close of business on Friday, Michelle Hill and I, in the town clerk's office, will tally the paper surveys for those results. The paper ballots will never leave the clerk's office. Michelle Hill has said she will take care of those.
I hate to interrupt, but we're having audio problems and they said you know how to fix those things.
Yeah, give me a couple of minutes here.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Sorry, so we're gonna do that and then we'll tally that up and I'm hopeful even next Wednesday, since the meeting's gonna be a little later in the week, we'll have the results of those surveys available.
There you go.
Both the online and the paper one. Working with Whip City Fiber. This is not really carried under old business, but it's very old business. Whip City Fiber is looking to install a test station here in Town Hall for residents to be able to try out the service that they're proposing to offer in our town. And we're also going to have the ability to connect the town to that service, since it's already located in town hall, because we had to light up some fiber for the regional dispatch.
Right.
Reminder, I know you mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, but next week's meeting is February 15th, Wednesday, not our regular Monday, to accommodate some work schedules. Thank you for your accommodation on that. And lastly, an allegation was raised against me again in public comments by Ms. Lamoureux. And I know we normally let them go, but you had your chance. Now it's my turn. I was president of Board of Health meeting. I probably go to 5 meetings a week. I am not elected to the Board of Health. I was there, please, to take in a meeting. And it's not my place to run a meeting. In the Board of Selectmen, the chairman sets the rules. And in any other board, the chairman sets forth the rules of how they operate their meetings. Whether they take public input, whether it's public participation, or whether it's open meeting in this format here. So respectfully, I disagree with your tacit, once again, submarining me and saying that I somehow condone the conduct of anyone in a public meeting of which I was in attendance. That's false, wrong, and you should apologize.
Dude, no, we're not gonna have a back and forth. Thank you.
I apologize if I took it wrong.
No,
See?
stop. We're not gonna have a back and forth. That's how I run my meeting.
Mhm.
So thank you. All right, with that, there's nothing else. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Seconded,
Roll call vote. Russ Fox, aye.
Doug Mogul. Aye.
Jason Peron, aye.
All right, good night. We'll see everybody on the 15th.
Same time?
6.